In this video, we're going to be finding the slope given 2 points on the line. Okay, so we'll label these 2 points to be x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we'll use this slope formula, which is subtract the y's, find the difference between the y's, and find the difference between the x. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that will give us our slope. Okay, so the first thing I always do when I start these, and I suggest you do the same, is I label x1, y1, x2, y2, just to make sure that you're writing the correct things down. Sometimes can be easy to mix these up. Okay, so the slope, we'll call it m, is equal to y2 minus y1, so that's 8 minus a negative 4. Okay, this minus comes from the formula. This minus comes because this was already negative. And in a second, these two will cancel out and it'll be a plus sign. Okay, let's do the bottom first though. So x2, that's 8, minus x1, so minus a negative 7. Okay, so let's take care of that. Both top and bottom, when a negative gets multiplied by a negative, and that's what's happening here, because you have a negative that's touching a negative there, so it becomes a positive. So we'll put 8 plus 4, and then we'll put 8 plus 7. Okay, and then we can do that. That's 12 over 15. Now, you want to make sure that your slope is reduced before you submit your final answer. This slope can be reduced by dividing the top and bottom by a 3. Okay, so I can put a little divide by 3 there if you want. Okay, so the top will become a 4, and the bottom will become a 5. So our slope is 4 over 5. Okay, so get the next one. So let's label just like we did last time. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. And I do get this question sometimes. Does it matter? Can I label these X2, Y2 and these X1 and Y1? Absolutely you can, and you'll get the same answer. Okay. All right, so let's use the formula. So M is equal to Y2, which is 6, minus Y1, which is 3, divided by x2, which is negative 9, minus x1, which is negative 2. Okay, so that one has a negative and a negative there. The top becomes a 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. And then this becomes a negative 9. This becomes a plus 2. Okay, and remember that if you're adding a negative and a positive, you subtract, but keep the sign of the larger number. So 9 minus 2 is 7. The sign of the larger number is this one, so it's negative, so it'll be negative 7. So 3 over negative 7, which we will write as negative 3 over 7 for our slope. Okay, one last one. Let's label them again. And let's go ahead and label them differently just to show that it can work that way. So this time I'll label this one x1 and y1, and I'll label this one x2 and y2, just to show that we can. Okay, so the formula says y2 minus y1. So y2 we have here is a 4, minus y1 is a negative 5. And then on bottom, we would get x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is negative 6. Okay, so we'll do what we did earlier. We'll make these positive. So 4 plus 5 over 4 plus 6 equals 9 over 10. Okay, and quickly I'll show you the other way. Let's pretend that we labeled them the opposite of what we did. This is the answer, so you can stop here if you understand what's going on. But if we label them differently, let's say that I label this x1, y1, and x2, y2. Let's show that it comes out as the same answer. So m is equal to y2 minus y1, so negative 5 minus 4. And then x2 minus x1 is negative 6 minus 4. Okay, so remember when you're adding negatives, you add and keep the sign, right? So add 5 and 4, that's 9, keep the sign, so negative 9. And add these up, keep the sign, so that's negative 10. And a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so you still get 9 over 10 in both ways.